What's going on, everybody? Talk Show Tuesday, getting ready to start up. Y'all know the time, y'all know the place. It's your boy up. See y'all in a little bit. Probably gonna be more of a solo adventure today, so stay tuned. Yes. I like this music, baby. I'm gonna leave this a little bit low while I'm talking. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. As y'all know, it's your boy Hollywood coming live to you from New York. It's another day, baby. It's another day. It's a good day to be alive, man. Blessings to all. Hope everybody's doing well. So I know it looks a little bit different right now. You know, you only see me. Unfortunately, I had some technical difficulties with getting in touch with my brother. Not my biological brother and not my mother's son. My brother that I call him my brother because we all in the same struggle. He's out there in Thailand right now, so I think the connection is a little bit spotty. So we'll try to, hopefully if he gets to call in maybe in a little bit, we'll put him on. I put him on, and we can ask him a few questions, a few things. If time permits. But I'm here, and I'm here to talk to y'all. This is a good opportunity for you guys to get to know me a little bit better, because I asked a bunch of questions to other people, but you guys are probably like, who the hell is this dude, So this is what this one is going to be about. This is what this episode is going to be about. Getting live, getting with you guys. If you guys have any questions for me, of course, I'll answer to the best of my abilities. But I want to give a little bit of time for a little bit more people to come in. Say about another minute or two, so we could listen to some tunes for that. And while the tunes are playing, we give people a little bit more time. And then if not, I start a dialogue, man. It's all good. I got a good buddy of mine told me that I need to be prepared for such things. There's gonna be times where people are not gonna make it. And I have to have a backup plan. And what I've been trying to do is I try to get as many people as possible to fill the spot. So let's say, for instance, I'm looking for someone to join the podcast, the interview. I'll ask a couple of people, like 2-3 people, being that everybody has their thing, everybody has their certain schedules, things go on. It is what it is. Life hits you and you gotta move. So try to have a few people in the queue waiting. But unfortunately, I think with also the holiday weekend, everybody is kind of lagging when it comes to getting back into the flow. So especially me too. I wasn't hammering out or hitting up people as much as I would normally do on a normal week. Because I was with my family as well. So you gotta, it is what it is. But as a host, as a creator, it's my responsibility to give y'all content. If I say I'm going to do it, if I say that I'm going to do something, I got to do it. I put my stamp of approval on it. Those are the things that I live by. And a good buddy of mine, kind of make sure that I stood on point with that as well, because I was honestly thinking about canceling this week and just doubling up next week. My buddy, he said, nope, man. And, it kind of reinforced that with me, because that's how I am normally. If I put my stamp of approval on something, if I say that I'm going to do something, I do it. That's as a man, I feel like if I put my word, I say that if I give you my word that I'm going to do something, or if I say that I'm going to do something, I have to do it. Unless something, existential happens, something real, with, family or something like that, then that I have to listen, I have to choose this over my word, and that's different. But not because I want to be lazy or I don't want to wake up to do it. Nah, if I said I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna help you or I'm a damn near make sure I do it. I feel like that's missing in society. Accountability, man. A lot of people, especially a lot of young brothers, man, a lot of young people, man, they don't understand what accountability is all about. Maybe they're not being taught it a lot. But accountability seems like a lost concept nowadays. But I was definitely taught that, being disciplined doing martial arts and stuff like that. I was definitely taught, discipline, accountability, giving your word, following through, not to make excuses. You know what I'm saying? Starting from the bottom and then learning something to get to somewhere. Martial arts definitely taught me a lot. But let's rewind this, man. I know I did say I was gonna give people a little bit of time to come in, but since I'm on a roll already, let's keep going. So let's start this a little bit. Let's go back a little bit, honey. Take a little drink of water. Let's start from the beginning. So me. So I'm 30, I think I'm 33. Yeah, I'm 33. 33 years of age, man. Raised in New York, Brooklyn. Raised with my moms and my pops. Came from humble means. I wasn't really struggling, but my parents made decent enough money to get us through. It was me, my father, my father, my mother, and my sister. We were all raised together. And probably at the earliest age, the one thing that I think was a constant. The first thing that I learned that was consistent throughout my years with, of living, was the idea family. And my father always instilled upon me what I took was that family is how important family was, and how important to keep your family together as best you can. So let me go a little bit into that. So my father had kids outside of, before he met my mom. My father had about five kids. Yeah, five kids outside of my mom. It was me and my sister, which is from him and my mother. But before he was married to my mom, he had other kids. And I believe it was about five, and four brothers and four boys and a girl. So anyway, as young as I can remember, he always had his other kids around us. He always made sure his kids came around. He always made sure that we interacted, and he always made sure we loved each other. What's going on, Killer? Everyone's good, brother. Everyone's good, man. Blessings to you and the family. Today is a solo talk show Tuesday, as you can see. I had a couple of difficulties getting in touch with a buddy of mine that I was gonna interview. He's out there in Muay Thai. He's out there in Thailand right now. So I had a connection issues with him. I couldn't get him on. If he finds his way and the internet gets back up over there, and he'll call. And if he calls within a decent amount of time, maybe we could get him on, ask him a few questions, just things like that. But if not, I'll get him on after that. It's no big deal. But what I was saying was that the earliest memories that I can remember is my dad always making sure that his kids from outside his marriage were involved with us. And as growing up, and I kept, as I got older and older and look back and think about, what he was doing, I always remember that he always made sure his family stood tight. It didn't matter if they weren't his kids from my mom. He made sure that he let my mom know, like, look, these are my kids. All my kids are gonna love each other. All my kids is gonna know are gonna know who their family is, and they're gonna watch out for each other. And I always remember that. I always remember that from him. And that's one of the, as a father now, one of the things that I take to heart when it comes to my daughter. Even though she's the only child, but just that, that tightness, that love for the family. The family is the only one you got. So make sure you take care of it. So anyway, as getting older, school was a very important thing. My pops was always working hard. And my mom, my mom stood in the house. Growing up, I had bad asthma. So that was another thing that forced my mom to kind of stay home and take care of me. Take me to school, do that whole thing. Education was real big, especially from my mom. Like, my mom used to drill me, dude. So she's from the Caribbean. She's from Barbados. My father's from Puerto Rico. She was always very educated, even when she met my dad. I think she had her associate's degree at that time. So education was very, very big with her. My father understood the importance of education, but at that time, dudes, they were able to make money without, really going to school. As long as they were willing to work, they made money. So, he let her handle the house things, and he went out there and he made that money. That was the times, back in the 80s and stuff like that, the times. And, it was still, he was still able to do things like that. So, definitely education was instilled upon me at a young age. Like I said, at the time, I was also very, I guess you could say very sick. The asthma did hinder me a lot when it came to working out, running, and things like that. But God willing, as I got older, I would say maybe like 8, 9, it started to go away, and I was able to do more and more activities. Moms always care more about education than father. Yeah, it seems like that, because especially during that time and earlier, guys had to hustle. Guys had to make moves. Guys had to be out there working. Wherever they worked in plants. They worked in, whatever it was they had to do. It was always something that they didn't really need a higher education for, or they were able to get away without having a higher education to get a good paying job to support their family. So at that time, in the flip side, women, they had the opportunity to get a higher education, get something that was more office bound, where they didn't have to really make moves, or if they had kids and they wanted to stay home and handle that business, they were able to do that. It was just how society was able to support the family, or how it pushed families to go. So around that time, it was still like that. It was still strong. It's nowadays that's really that's not happening. You can't. There's no way you could do that nowadays with how the economy is, and how this women's movement is nowadays. They're not trying to stay home. So just society is pushing and moving to something different, which can't sustain, or which is not supportive of the one income. Bro, you and BK, what's going on, Jen? Yes, I am. I am in Brooklyn, man. Blessings to you. Blessings to you, Artemis, man. I hope you and the family doing all right. But yeah, you can't get a good paying job without having a degree. Yeah, and the funny thing about it is that even now that you have a degree, it doesn't even mean anything, because you're in so much debt, and people are not willing to give you a job based on the time that you put in for that degree, because they're also now saying, oh, well, you don't have any experience. For instance, I mean, I got my bachelor's degree in sociology, and I couldn't get a job in any of the fields that were in my degree. So I think one of the first jobs that I got when I got out of college was at a cable company, making $11 an hour. That's crazy. Want to hear something crazy regarding that? I know a girl who used to work at McDonald's. All right, keep going. But yeah, killer. Nowadays, college is a big scam, dude. It's just to hold you down, to hold you in this web where they could control you financially because you owe all this money. She did a program where she basically did it administer at a bank. Wow. So yeah, that's college, man. She took one online course for Excel. But yeah, man. So yeah, as I was saying while I listened to you, making about 70K now. Wow, look at that. Yeah. See what I mean? Working for a bank. Yeah. So you see what I mean? How the degree is just a way to trap you. It's just like the housing market. The housing market is another scam and a way to confine you. You see where they say, oh, you could put as little down as maybe $10,000 in cash. They try to make it so appealing to own a house, and everybody's still on that old mentality of the American dream, white picket fence, everything like that. And then they trap you, and then the banks raise up your rates. You can't pay them. All these certain kind of things to get you stuck. Everybody's talking about this whole, credit. Credit don't mean nothing if the banks, if you go through another recession, if the banks don't got no money, that it's all a ploy, man. You got to read into some of these things, man. Cashier at my work has a master's, can't find work. Yeah, what's going on, Malbec? Blessings to you and the family, man. Appreciate you coming through and listening to Talk Show Tuesday, man. Again, sorry for not having a person to interview. He's out there in Muay Thai. Excuse me. I keep saying he's out there in Muay Thai. He's out there in Thailand. And he's having connection problems. So, that's why he's not here. But I'll have him on in the next one. Artemis says it depends on what you study, really, because if you study some random shit, some people don't care. Also, connections play a huge role. Connections always help. It sure do. And a lot of people don't realize that how connections play a big part. But see, it's also, again, the hype and what's being advertised. It's the same thing with the housing market. It's the same thing with college. People assume, they were told, because I was fooled too. You were told, or you were expected to get a degree. And once you got a degree, you were going to make the good money. Like, that was what was told to everybody. That was what people were under the impression that was going to happen. And it didn't happen. It's like they were like, we got you. And you didn't get anything. So, at the same time, we were caught. So, and it's just, again, if you're not educated in it, you're not going to know. So that's the point, man. Just try to get educated. Try to see the flaws and the games and all of that goes behind certain things. I would say the best thing to do is always do your research on something before you take that plunge, man. Because society, the government, these institutions, they just trying to get you, man. They're trying to get you in your pockets. They're trying to get you in a trap. And the funny thing is that the joke is gonna be on them, especially when it comes to like colleges and stuff like that, because there's no laws that require that force you to pay unless it's from unless you took a loan from the government. If you took it out from like just the banks, you don't have to pay them anything. So once it starts getting to a point where like the banks are gonna be, we're not getting any money from these people, there's gonna be another recession because they're not getting the money back they're putting in, but they're not getting it back, and it's nobody's fault but their own, because they're the ones that put this stigma out there that once you get a degree, you're gonna get a good paying job to pay us back, and they're not getting that. When people start realizing like, I don't have to pay this. Watch what's gonna happen. It's gonna be another crash, and it's gonna be interesting. The white picket fence dream is more a memory. The world isn't the same, and we have to change with it. Keep your head up and hustle every day. You'll get by. Take a risk, and eventually the dice will roll in your favor. Yes, sir. And I will add on to something like that. Do something that you feel in your heart that's gonna be, that's gonna help. Like with me, with doing like this podcast and or talk show or whatever you want to call it. It's all about spreading knowledge, positivity, love, inspiration, motivation. If I could just help that one person, and they come in here and they come out and say, yo, damn, I'm glad I watched that. I was on the brink, or, I needed that so that I could do this and get on this path. I'll feel fulfilled. There's not, I think one of the best things that someone can do in their life is be is help others. If you're there for the people and do your thing, that's some of the best things, man, in the world. Also, people, at least in NYC, people don't want the white picket fence. Yeah, commute is killing, man. Yeah, it is, man. It is. It's not getting any easier, man. The MTA system out here is not getting any better. The L train just closed down. Like they're asking for more and more and more money for the public transportation, and they closing down lines. I don't know why there's not more protests and things like that about that. How many genders are there? I don't know anymore. What's going on? You're cold as ice. I mean, that discussion right there. I feel sorry for the next generation, like my kids. My daughter's friends, cousins, and stuff like that. I don't know what they're gonna do about this gender thing, man, because I guess it's not as bad as long as they don't force you to talk about, force you to use these different pronouns, like how they're trying to get that law out in Canada to force them to use certain pronouns. We're getting out of hand now. So I hope that that doesn't come out here to the States, which I mean is very, very possible. But yeah, I think this stuff is getting a little bit out of hand, man. If as long as it's not something that you're forced to do by law, either you call somebody what they want to be called or you don't talk to them. I think it's very simple. If I'm talking to someone and I use the wrong pronoun and they want to correct me, okay, that's cool. It's up to me to either choose to call you that or not. If I don't want to call you that, then I either walk away from the situation or you walk away from the situation. Easy peasy. But for me to have to call you something, or how you gonna tell me what I was supposed to call you? So I don't know, man. That's a big violation of freedom of speech. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. My boss was telling me, Artemis says, my boss was telling me how he has to spend like 10 years. He spent like 10 years total commuting. The amount of time he has spent commuting added up to 10 years. You can't default on student loans is the thing though. They will garnish your wages or seize your assets. Yeah, true. So I know, Artemis, that they can, but that's if you got a loan from the government. If you didn't get a loan from the government, if you got a loan from like a private bank, I don't believe that they can do that. I would have to do some more research on it, but that's what I that's what I have gotten from that. Excuse me. If it's the government though, the government could do whatever they want. Once you put your 9 on the dotted line with the government, yeah, they could definitely do all of that. But like, let's say for instance, if you did it from Chase or whatever, I don't think they could really get you. And as you know, when it comes with loans and things of that nature, or I think it takes 7 years on your and that it takes a hit to your credit score, and once that, it drops off, and then you don't gotta pay nothing. Like it goes away, it's over. So but regardless the fact, I mean, regardless of the fact is that, like, especially for me, as I said in the beginning of the show, you know, I feel as a man, if I put my name on something, or I said I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. You know, if I give my word, especially like I said, as a man, this is how I was raised. If I put my word, if I give you my word, or I said something, I have to do it. Unless again, this is some existential crisis or something going on that forces me not to do it. I have to make every effort to do it because I said I was gonna do it. And you know, nobody wants to go out here taking out loans and not want to pay it back. You know, nobody wants those hits on their credit score and stuff like that. You know, but it's just the cause and effect. If you say I'm gonna get something for doing this, I want what you said that I was going to get. In turn, if you say, okay, look, you go to school, you get your degree and whatever, you'll get a good job to you know, support yourself, your family, and obviously pay these bills. Okay, we that's what we going in as. You come in right out of college and you're not making no money. How are you gonna pay these people? You know, so well, like I said, it's just a trick to keep you down there in poverty and keep you locked up. So, I mean, I'm not even, you know, I'm not mad for these people that don't pay these people. Okay, bro. Good talk. I gotta go to sleep right now. It's late over here. All right, Killer. Appreciate you coming through, man. You have a good night. Blessings to you and the family, my man. I'll see you again. So yeah, more about me. As I got, because I left off when I was around 9 or so. When I got to that age, then that's when martial arts was introduced to me. I was always into like the movies. You know, my pops used to put on the movies. You know, Bruce Lee movies. You know, Bruce Lee, the wannabe Bruce Lee. I used to call him nowadays. You know, all the Chinese kung fu movies and things like that. I remember the one that we used to come on every week, Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. Used to watch that. So I was always into martial arts. So once I got about 9 years old, 10 years old, he put me into Taekwondo, and I mean, I ran with it from there. You know, there was times that, you know, it got a little flaky, because I remember the first instructor that I had, name was Master Troy. Man, if to this day, I owe so much to that man. I mean, he, you know, this is the perfect example of a village raising a kid. You know, a community helping to raise the children, which we don't have anymore. But might I add, you know, it's very, very seldom that you see a community raising kids anymore. You get that a lot in the Caribbean, like Barbados and stuff like that. You know, where everybody helps out to help raise kids. You know, someone that might not be financially well off, and the community comes together and helps out, you know, that family and stuff, you know, whatever's going on. But anyway, you know, this man, Master Troy, man, he played a big part in my life when it came to discipline, when it came to, you know, learning about martial arts, you know, meditation, you know, just how to be a disciplined man. You know, my pops, you know, played a big part, because, you know, he was my dad, you know. So it's like in the beginning, I knew him, my pops, you know, he taught me certain things, but, you know, obviously, you know, he's working and stuff, you know, we don't see each other all the time. So it's, you know, like him, and I would say this man right here, you know, Master Troy, man, he taught me a lot of things, man. I trained with him for maybe about a good 6 months to a year, and then he left. And man, I was going to quit martial arts when he left. It was so devastating. I felt so hurt, you know. And that's how I knew how much of an impact he had on me, where I didn't even want to do the martial art anymore because he left me. Well, you know, there was well, you know, I found out as I got older that there were more politics going on within the martial arts school that had happened. But you know, at that age, all I could think about is, you know, me, you know, like, damn, you know, he left, man. what am I gonna do? I got this new dude teaching, teaching now, and I'm just like, what the? It was rough, man. But and then that's when my pops and my mom, again, the two parent, household, and a good example of what you need to do. They were like, look, there's always going to be obstacles like this in front of you. So what are you going to do every time something like that happens? You're going to just quit, and they kept on saying things like that to me, and fortunately I got back into it. I got back in, and my friends, the people that I trained with were what I then switched to as the constant. All right, and within the school that I'm in, there might be a lot of different trainers or masters, that might come in. But my people, my boys, the people that I train with all the time, that's kicking me, hurting me, and I'm hurting them. This is the connection that I'm gonna hold on to, so that I could keep going through this. And sure enough, man, that connection that I had with my buddies, man, two in particular, my man Greg and my man Bernardo, we got black belts together. Like we trained for years, man. We went all over the United States, man, tournaments for Taekwondo and all of that, man. Like that bond the bond that you share from any kind of sports discipline, martial arts and stuff like that you gain from other people, that bond is unbreakable, man. I can't stress enough, if you could get into something like, it doesn't have to be martial arts, it could be basketball, football, baseball, martial arts, if you can, something. But the bond that you'll create from that is man, it's something that you can't describe, man. And I encourage you guys to do that. What's going on, Binks? Appreciate you coming through, my man. Blessings and blessings. Sorry about the no guest today. I was going to interview a buddy of mine that's training out there in Thailand. Excuse me. And I wanted to give y'all guys what it's like from his point of view, being an amateur, training out there, and probably in the heart of where Muay Thai is really trained pretty hard, and so I wanted to have him on, but he's having connection issues, you know what I'm saying? So, I'll get him on here next time. We were talking about it last night anyway, that we might have to have canceled, but I didn't want to cancel. I wanted to make sure I stick to my word and make sure every week I give y'all something. So I've been, another day. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Banks, man. I appreciate you understanding, man. But yeah, I was just going on about me a bit, what's going on, my humble beginnings and things like that. So yeah, I was talking about how, I got into Taekwondo at like a very early age, the age of like 9 or 10. My dad got me into it. And then my first master that I had, like I said, he was like another pops, man. Like that guy had a very, very big influence in my life. Even though I didn't train for him for that long, maybe 6 months to a year tops, I trained with him. And when he left, I was gonna quit. That was gonna be it for me with martial arts right then and there. And my pops, my moms, they were like, you can't just quit because, you can't quit for things like that. There's gonna be masters that's gonna train you here and there. You can't just quit. What are you gonna do? You're gonna quit every time. That saying. So got back into it, and like I said, I held on to the connections that I made within martial arts, like the friends that I made, the people that I'm kicking every day that's whooping me up, I'm whooping them up. But like I said, Bernardo and Greg, those two dudes, I held on to that friendship, that connection, that love that we have for each other. And, like I said, we got black belts together, man. We trained, we did tournaments all over the United States, man. For Taekwondo, and, that bond can't be broken, man. And I hope anybody that's listening to this can, get that kind of connection from whatever it is, whether it's martial arts, whether it's any kind of sports, that connection that you make with people that you're bleeding with, that y'all guys are getting hit. I can't describe that. 'Cause there's I met some of the best people in my life from martial arts. Um, even now to this day, we might not be in touch with each other, like maybe that we should, where we're all in different parts of the world. But if I was to see that man or any of my brothers that I used to train with out there in that street right now getting hurt, I fight for my life with him. Very easy. So, it's very, very, those connections are very, very strong, man. Bing says, what made your father decide to go the Taekwondo route instead of more generic football best? Because I was, I used to watch a lot of the movies, a lot of the Kung Fu movies. And he was into, my uncle, his brother was into boxing. So I guess he kind of just felt like that made the most sense. He wasn't into sports like that. So I guess, he was kind of like, I'm going to put him in something that he seems to have an affinity for. I guess as you get, as I'm, as a parent, I used to watch the OG Bloodsport, kickboxing. One of my favorite movies, what the heck was it called? Best of the Best. Best of the Best, man. Yeah, that was Taekwondo. That was a Taekwondo movie. And then when I got into Taekwondo, I had more of an appreciation for that movie. That was our movie, man. All of us in that school, when we really, when we started to get into Taekwondo more and more and more, Best of the Best was our movie, man. Tommy, it was good. That was a good movie. But and as a parent, like now that I'm, that I have a daughter and I see it, you kind of want to try to go with what their affinity is. So for instance, I'm trying to see what she is into more, something that it doesn't really, how can you say it? It's not really a struggle to get her to do. So for instance, like I've taken her with me to practice martial arts, and I could tell that she's not into it. She'll go for a little bit, but then she's just really like real quick, she gets off of it. And maybe it's me, maybe I should kind of try to like push her into it a little bit more. But I see that she has more of an affinity for singing. So I need to more get her with more vocal coaching and things of that nature, to get, to facilitate what she seems to have an affinity for. She likes to sing. So you're right, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it, Banks. I throw a lot of things at her to see what she gravitates to. Yeah, and it seems to be singing. I've had her in ballet, dancing and things of that nature. But like I said, martial arts. I take her with me, to do some of those things. And something that's always been a constant is singing. Like she just sings to sing. Like you walk up and she's walking around and she's just singing. So I noticed that that's one of her, something that she gravitates to is singing. So I have to push that more as a parent. You have to kind of facilitate that. So me also as a parent, being a martial artist and seeing how small she is, I also kind of want her to be into kind of martial arts just for the self-defense aspect of it. But I don't want to push it on her. Maybe when she gets a little bit older and she can appreciate it and understand why she's doing it, and maybe we'll revisit it. Because I started at 9, she's only 8. So maybe about 9 or 10, I'll have her do her beginning years of martial arts. And it's not a rush. She still will be young. She'll still easily get into it. So I'm not too worried about it. But what I need to do is I need to facilitate more her singing. Like I said, I had her in vocal coaching, but it's rather expensive. Anyway, anything that's good is gonna be expensive. Vocal coaching for one session is about anywhere from $80 to $100 just for one session for an hour. So it's been a little bit out of my price range for now, but I gotta, as a parent, you can't make excuses. She's my legacy, so I have to make sure that I make it happen. That's just what you have to do as a parent. You really can't. I can't really make excuses. I gotta just do it. But she into instruments? Nah, I haven't. I haven't really given her an instrument. I gave her I forgot what was a the ones like this. It's not a flute. It's one of the other things, and she was into it for a bit, but then she kind of gave up on it. Um, so I think she's just more into the. I noticed that she's also into that and running. She likes to move, and she likes to sing. So maybe track when she gets a little bit older. I try to see if track will be a thing that she likes to do because she likes to run. Definitely likes to run. I had a cousin the same way, and they just put him into the guitar. You gotta feel it out. You gotta feel it out with kids, man, and make sure that you facilitate their dreams to the best of your ability. But what else? A little anything? Oh yeah. For so it took me about maybe six to anywhere from 6 to 8 years. Then I got my black belt in Taekwondo, and then the school was going down. As far as leadership and student wise. So, and then I moved on, and when I moved on, I needed a break. I think this was the probably the thing that I learned not to do from my pops, was to force to an extent where you're honestly not listening to your kid. So for instance, I didn't want to do Taekwondo anymore, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't have been susceptible to doing another martial arts. And he kind of force fed it to me, like, you can't quit, you can't, you're not gonna quit. He would force me to, he forced me to go to another Taekwondo school. And then after a while, being getting older, I was in my later teens. Like I'm just gonna not go. I'm gonna do my own thing. I was trying to. Let's not be, but I was trying to get some girls, man. Like, I'm a good-looking, good in shape brother that know martial arts, and I'm not even out here trying to grab these girls up. And once they started seeing me more, because as getting up to that stage, within those years of Taekwondo, it was wake up, it was school, it was come back, maybe eat, and go right to training. And I would train for about anywhere from probably like 3 to 4 hours a day, every day, 5 days a week. And when I hit the weekend, I would barely be able to go out in the weekends. So I was kind of in a way, I was kind of sheltered until I got to my teenage years, and then on the weekend I would be able to go out to friends. But when you see your friends out here, having a good time and getting girls and doing the things that you want to do, it kind of weighs on you a little bit. And it's a very tough balance as a parent, to make sure you keeping them on the straight and narrow, trying to protect them from what's out there in the world as far as negative, drinking, drugs, just hanging out on the street corners, all that stuff. But at the same time, you got to kind of also see when it's too much, when you're pushing them too much. And then that was something that I don't think my pops had a good mindset of. It was just, you do it, I'm paying for it, so if I'm paying for it, you should just do it and not say anything. That's not how it works. So that's something that I definitely gained knowledge as a parent now, to try to be as close to the middle as I can. Make sure she don't just quit because she thinks it's okay to be a quitter, but try to make sure that I'm not force feeding her anything. It's hard. It's hard as a parent right now, and it's definitely hard. But you got to do the best that you can. When I had my growth spurt in high school, I was thrusted into the regime: 3 hours shooting before school and training after school. At the time, I was extremely antisocial, so my parents tried to get me amongst it all. Makes sense. Hi, can you react to a Fitz video? What's going on? Joshu Fox Oos. Oh, what's going on? Yeah. Link the video. I don't mind, as long as it's not any kind of inappropriate stuff. I could definitely do that for you. But back to the story. Um, where was I? Oh yeah. So then I took that time off, maybe about a good 5 years from martial arts, and then I met my daughter's mother, did all that, stuff, and then my daughter was born. When my daughter was born, then I was getting out of college. So at the same time, it was kind of like a big rush. It's like my daughter's being born. I just got this apartment for all of us. I gotta make moves. So I got a job as quickly as I could, because I couldn't get a job in the field that I wanted. Just like everybody, you didn't have the experience, so they kind of messed it up. But it was kind of messed up in that extent. But then after that, I got back into it, and I got back into it with kickboxing. I didn't want to get back in. Well, I would have gotten back into Taekwondo, but at this time, Taekwondo schools out in New York, I don't see the same dedication or the same emphasis on certain things as I used to see. So when I mean that, all right, Joe, I'll take a look at it in 1 second. What I mean by that is, in my day, and when I learned to train, hold on. Yeah, she called, but I'm doing something. I'll get back to you in a little bit. Yeah, she called. She's gonna call grandma. Here. Sorry, that was the baby. Yeah, cool. I get it in 1 second. As soon as I get this thought out. Oh yeah. So Taekwondo in my age, they call it the second generation or the second wave of Taekwondo, and that had a emphasis on power and speed. And when I say power and speed, like, we were trying to knock you out. That was what we did. Now I was thinking in like, damn, we were assholes. But I mean, there were times where we were headhunting. Hey, that Fizz dude is from my country. Oh, for real? All right, I'm gonna check it out in a second. I'm gonna actually see if I could put it up so you guys can see it too while I'm doing it. But let me get this thought out. So back when I was training in Taekwondo, this is like the 90s and the early 2000s. Like I said, Taekwondo was about knocking dudes out. Now it's really point based, so it's really flimsy kicks, just to score points, because Taekwondo, so there's two different types of I guess you could say training models of Taekwondo. It's WTF and ITF. One is the World Taekwondo Federation, which is WTF, and ITF is the International Taekwondo Federation. So the World Taekwondo Federation is more tournament based, more point based, around the world, because it's a sport. The ITF is more for Taekwondo, for how you could say, I guess you could say they'll use more punches. I guess to say it in the best way for you to understand it, the ITF is, the WTF is more point based, more tournament. It's the tournament structure. So if you're learning WTF, you're learning to compete. ITF is about defending yourself in the real world using Taekwondo. So you'll have more punches, you'll implement more punches than you would in the WTF. So nowadays, now that I see the new wave of Taekwondo for WTF, is horrible. It's no power. It's just to get points. Whatever you can do to, and now what it was back then with WTF is the judges would score you based on whatever if you hit, if you whatever the judges would too. Now the pads, because we obviously the headgear, the pads, they have like pressure sensors. So if you just hit it hard enough for the pressure to register the hit, you get the point. So now all people are doing is just getting that hit so that they can get the point, and that's it. But back then we sometimes you would get a clean hit but not get scored for it. So that's why we try to hit you hard enough where there's no doubt about you got hit and us getting that point. So nowadays Taekwondo is definitely not what it used to be, and there's a lot of schools out there that's real just it's terrible schools, man. Like I wouldn't put anybody through Taekwondo here nowadays. If I was to, and that gives me a thought too. Maybe I should start teaching Taekwondo how it used to be. I might look into that. Me and my buddy might need to have to get together and teach Taekwondo how it should be taught. But let me check this out, Joe. Give me 1 second here. Let's see if I could put this. Oh. All right, first let me do this. All right, damn, this is 10 minutes, dude. All right, hold on a second. We'll do this. That is this. I'll do this reaction, and then we'll end it from here. We'll end the stream. It's been about an hour or so. So let's see here. That doesn't surprise me. TBH football getting watered down as well. Yeah, dude. A lot of things are getting watered down, man. I mean, I think that's a kind of different kind of discussion, though, in the sense that football. I don't think football needs to be watered down. I think football needs to have more avenues for people to recover, and when they get out of football, they need to get the proper care to spend the money that they work so hard in getting. For years, football players, they take hard hits, and when they get out of playing football, they can barely walk, they can barely move, they get out of shape, they get a very, very they get a lot of health issues as soon as they leave football. And I feel that not only that the players don't know how to manage their money, but there's not enough resources for them to leave the game and enjoy the rest of their life. It's like the same thing with boxing. Boxing was like that for years. So I just think that they need to have a lot more outlets so that they don't have to degrade the game while they're playing the game, but at the same time, when they get out of the game, they're able to live their life, because people want to live their life. And what's up? I need my phone. It's right there. People need to be able to live their life, with the money that they earn. They work hard for it. So hopefully, yeah, I heard you. So they need to. I feel like there needs to be ways for them to do that. But let me check this video out real fast. So I got Skype here. I need to put my camera up, right? All right, here we go. This. Edit this. See me. All right, let's put the video up. All right, so this is CS:GO here.
Our biggest threat is ourselves.
No, I think crocodiles are pretty scary, man.
Snakes are pretty bad too.
Fucking like a politician giving a speech. Our greatest threat right now is ourselves.
Well, actually, have you heard about crocodiles?
So what is this about anyway?
Smitty, kill him!
Why are you so loud? Why are you so loud? Stop!
Kill him!
Stop! Stop!
Epic! Be epic! Epic! So epic!
Jesus.
This is
Anyway, he's on a lot of caffeine right now. His name is Dickwad. No clue.
Alexa, shut up.
Alexa, stop.
Alexa, stop. Play Toto Africa. Yeah, there we go.
Your Alexa's really fast.
She doesn't talk at all. You fucking train that bitch well, huh?
Oh snap! You got Alexa, brother Binks?
We had to do this for copyright. Just bear with us.
Conversation.
All right, you can stop.
30 seconds later. What's going on, Dub? Blessings, man. I hope your mom is doing good, brother. I heard that you know, I was keeping up with you on Twitter, man. Blessings, man. My prayers was out to you and your family, man. You know, thank God everything is all right now, man. How's everything going so far? Yo, what's this guy? I don't understand this video.
Record has a scratch in it, bro.
It's like they trying real hard to be entertaining, and it's not entertaining.
All right, John. Fuck. You've got
Maybe they put clips and everything together. I really appreciate that, bro. Everything's going okay, bro. How are you? Doing good, man. You know, I apologize that the person that I wanted to have at an interview, you know, couldn't make it. He's out there in Thailand, you know, training in Muay Thai. So I think his internet is all messed up and everything like that. But we'll get him on in the next one. So it's just been me, you know, talking about myself, you know, introducing myself to and getting into a little bit deeper about myself. I'm about to end it out. I'm about to end the stream up now. You know, because I've been on for about a good hour or so. So, man, I was just watching this video because someone wanted me to react to this Fist video, but it's trash, man. Like, these dudes are trying too hard to be funny, and they're not funny.
Friendly, you fucking idiot.
No, you're fucking not, you fucking piece of shit.
Yes, I fucking am, you fucking.
But yeah, that's about that.
You don't get off.
Sorry I'm late, bro. Nah, it's all good, brother. Everybody got things to do. You know, especially you, my man. Come on, you got. Come on, man. Yeah, I'd never, you know, I'd never be mad at that, brother. Come on, you gotta make sure the family's good, man. I'm just glad that the family's all right. My family, you know, and glad that you all right and everything like that, man. You know, gotta count the blessings, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me start shutting it down. I'll probably be on a little bit later for World of Warcraft. Everything is out. The raid is out and things like that. So if I could get some people together to do the raid, I'll probably stream that. Mythic Pluses are out right now. And I don't want this one to go too long, so that I could cut this out and put it on YouTube so people could, you know, see what's going on. But yeah, I think that's I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'll check everybody else later. I appreciate everybody that came through, asked questions. Again, I apologize. Next week we're gonna be jam-packed though. We're gonna double up. We're gonna have Haley back on. It's gonna be a month, man, that I've been doing it. Next week, man, consistently 4 weeks, man, that I've been doing it. So I was thinking of doing something new, and I'm gonna hit it 2 times. I'm gonna have the beautiful Haley. She's gonna be back on next week, Tuesday. Same time. We're not gonna do 2 hours this time though. We're gonna try to keep it at least no more than an hour. And then in the ending of that week, I think about on Friday at 5, I'm gonna have you know, a family member, my cousin Jeff. He has a business, personal training fitness business that he's been doing. So we're gonna have him on, you know, and tell his story. So we're gonna be doing 2 talk shows next week. So hopefully I'll be able to catch that. I'll definitely post it up on the social media and on the Discord and things like that. So y'all, you know, don't forget about it. I'll catch those next week. You know, a lot more content for you all. Appreciate everybody that came through again. Brother Binks, as always, man. Love, love, love. Dub, love, love, love to you as well, man. Blessings and blessings, man. You know, take care of your moms, man, because, you know, that's we only get one, brother. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, guys. Thank you again. I'm gonna wrap this up. Make sure you guys are here next week again. And if you guys want to come through later on for World of Warcraft, I'll be on. All right. Peace.